Hello everyone, we are going to start with you our 27th lesson. Today's lesson is going to be focused on reading, grammar and speaking part. So let's get started. Before we start our reading part, we are going to learn some vocabularies that we are going to come across in our reading. So the first word is force. This is hava kuşları. Force, this is kuş, air, this is hava. So together they will be hava kuşları. Delighted, a very good word, and it means very, very happy. Today is my birthday and I feel delighted. So it means juda ham xursand, maftun bo'lmoq. Description, this is tavsif or tarif. Next, education, ta'lim. The education system in Uzbekistan is developing year by year. Next word is exploration, this is tadqiqot. So when you explore something new. Next, enough, yetarli. Factory, this is zavod. Fit, loyiq. For example, this jacket doesn't fit me, so I think I will give it to my sister because she is smaller than me. Next, height, this is balandligi, and we also have weight. This is how much the person weighs. So this is how many kilograms a person weighs. This is weight, this is in Uzbek will be og'irlik. It has two meanings. One of them is, this is our last lesson, bu bizning eng oxirgi darsimiz, for example, or last, if it is a verb, it means davom etmoq, or synonym of continue. This lesson lasts 20 minutes. Bu dars 20 minut davom etadi. Next word is receive. This is qabul qilmoq. On my birthday, I received a lot of presents and I was delighted. On my birthday, I received a lot of presents and I was delighted. So, tug'ilgan kunimda men juda ham ko'p sovg'a oldim va juda ham maftun bo'ldim. So, you see, we can connect two words and our speaking will progress if we connect more and more words together. Next word is return. This is qaytmoq. I forgot my phone at home, that's why I returned. Skydive, this is, if we translate it literally, so word by word, it means osmonga sho'ng'ish. Sky, this is osmon, dive, this is sho'ng'imoq. But the general meaning of this word is when you jump from the parachute, parachutedan sakramoq, alright? This is the meaning of this word. Suppose you are going to skydive. Will you be afraid of it or not? Next. So United Nations, this is Birlashgan Millatlar Tashkiloti. This is the organization that I have a dream to work for. Next, spacecraft, koinot kemasi, war, urush, and wait, we have already said this is og'irligi. So this is the vocabulary. Please make 3-4 sentences. Please make 3-4 stories connecting 5 or even 6 words together so that your speaking will rocket. Alright? Good job. So perhaps from the vocabulary you have noticed that we are going to talk about space. In particular, we are going to talk about space pioneers. Valentina Tereshkova, she was the first woman in space. Pioneer, this means the person who starts something new for the first time ever. No one has ever done this particular thing before this person. For example, Valentina Tereshkova, she is a space pioneer because before her there were no women in the space. Or Yuri Gagarin as well, or Neil Armstrong, all of them are space pioneers. It means before them, anyone has never started doing this thing. So let's start reading together. Valentina Tereshkova was born on 6 March 1937 near the city of Yaroslavl in western Russia. Her father was a tractor driver. Her mother worked in a factory. Her mother worked in a factory. Factory was what? Zavod. When she was 2 years old, her father died in a wartime battle. She started school when she was 8. At 17, she started working in a factory. Valentina enjoyed learning, so she continued her education in her free time. Education means ta'lim. There was a flying club in Yaroslavl. Valentina joined and she learned to skydive. Skydive, parachutedan sakramoq. She made her first parachute jump on 21st of May 1959. She was 22 years old, so she was quite young when she made her first parachute jump. She became a spy engineer at the factory, but she parachuted from planes many times. In 1961, the Russian space engineers had an idea. They wanted a Russian to be the first woman cosmonaut. The woman could not be too tall or too heavy, so there was special criteria to be this cosmonaut. She had to be young enough and fit enough to fly in space. So fit here, it doesn't have the meaning of loyer bolmoch, but it has a meaning of being in a good shape, all right? Not too fat, very much sporty, we can say. So this was the description. Age under 30 years, weight under 70 kilograms, height under 170 centimeters, and important, she must be able to parachute. So as you can see, all the criteria suited or fit our Valentina Tereshkova. She was the best choice for the Russian space engineers. Valentina fitted this description. So here, fitted, it means loyer bolmoq. More than 50 young women did the test, but only a few women were good enough. A few means, what was it? Not many, with countable. Valentina and 4 other women joined the space program in February 1962. Valentina trained hard. In November, the space engineers chose her for the special flight. In November, the space engineers chose her for the special flight. You will be the first woman in space, they told her. Valentina was delighted, very happy. At last, the day of the flight arrived. On 16th of June 1963, Valentina took off uçup gitti, in the spacecraft Vostok 6. The flight lasted almost 3 days. Lasted here means continued. During the flight, she spoke to people on the ground. On the ground, we have already learned with you this word. It means yernosуда. So her call sign was Chaika. In English, this means seagull. This is the word in Russian. Chaika is written. So in November, she married another cosmonaut. Her husband was Andriy Nikolaev. Their daughter, Yelena, was born in 1964. Valentina trained as a cosmonaut engineer. Then she worked in the Russian Air Force until 1997. Valentina Tereshkova became a hero of the Soviet Union. She received the United Nations Gold Medal of Peace. So she became the hero of Soviet Union, and she was very much respected. So she was very much respected person. She even received a medal from the United Nations. On her 70th birthday, she told the newspaper reporter, "I still have one dream, a flight to Mars. It is the dream of all cosmonauts." So as you can see, this is Vostok 1. This space rocket took Yuri Gagarin into orbit around the Earth. So this space was Yuri Gagarin's spacecraft. And now if we look at the details, the first man in space exploration, Yuri Gagarin, Russia. He was the first man in space, the first orbit of the Earth, 12th of April 1961. Next, Alexei Leonov, as well Russian, the first spacewalk, 18th of March 1965, and Neil Armstrong, America, the first man on the moon, 21st of July 1969. So all of them are space pioneers. So this is the end of our reading, but now let's move to the questions. So let's answer to the questions. The first one, when was Valentina Tereshkova born? She was born on 16th of March 1937. Other questions, please do them on yourself, and then we are going to check together. Alright, so the second question, where did she work at 17? She worked in a factory. Third one, where did Valentina learn to skydive? She learned to skydive at a flying club in Yaroslavl. Fourth, what was the Russian space engineers' idea? Their idea was that they wanted Russian to be the first woman in the space. Next one. How many women joined the space program in February 1962? And the answer is there were 50 women in this program. How long did Valentina's flight last? Her flight lasted for almost 3 days. Next, on her 70th birthday, what was her one dream? Her one dream was to fly to Mars. Next, who was the first man in space? The first man in space was Yuri Gagarin. So what did Alexei Leonov do first? If you remember, we had a table, and in that table was written that Alexei Leonov was the first man to walk in the space. And who was the first man on the moon? The first man on the moon was American person, and his name was Neil Armstrong. Let's answer to the exercise number 2. The first woman cosmonaut had to be young and fit. Why? The reason why she had to be young and fit, because if she hadn't been like this, she would have had some health problems, and then it would be difficult for her to fly, because she had to have some medical tests, checkups, and so on, and it would require a lot of time and resources. Second, did the Russian engineers want a small woman or a big woman? Why? So they wanted not too small and not too tall. So they wanted big enough a woman, but not too big. So I believe the reason why they didn't want too big woman or too small woman, because the spacecraft, it has certain criteria, and if the woman is too big, then she wouldn't be able to sit in this spacecraft. If she was too small, then she wouldn't be able to control it. Alright, and the last one, do you have the same dream as Valentina Tereshkova? Why or why not? Personally, I don't have a dream to fly into the space. However, I have the same dream as Valentina. However, I have similar dream to Valentina Tereshkova. I have a dream to be working at the United Nations and to receive one day a gold medal. Hopefully, you will see me receiving one day a gold medal from the United Nations. Who knows? So these are my answers to these 3 questions. Please now pause the video and try to answer on your own. And do not forget to answer whether you have a dream to fly to the space or you don't have. So we say dream big, and hopefully all your dreams come true. So now let's move on to the next exercise. So in the next exercise, what we have to do, we have to put the words from the box into the sentences. Please do it on yourself, please do it on your own, and then we will check together. So let's check our answers. The first one, your education is very important, so you must work hard at school. Second, is space exploration exciting or too dangerous? Third, this year our sports program includes football training and swimming lessons. Include, it means to be part of something. For example, our English lessons include speaking, listening, reading, and writing skills. Next sentence. Alfie can run 100 meters in 15 seconds. He is very fit. Fifth, last week our school received a very important visitor. And the last one is the children's performance of the Ugly Duckling lasted 1 hour. So this is the end. Now let's move to the grammar part. In the grammar part, we are going to talk about a few, a little. So we have already talked about this grammar structure in the previous lesson. A few, it means not many, and we use it with countable, and a little means not much, and we use it only with uncountable. Now let's do some exercises based on this topic. So the first one, there are a few cakes. As you can see, not many cakes, and cakes is countable, that's why we use a few. There is a little juice, so juice is uncountable, that's why we use a little. So let's do the first exercise. We have to say a few or a little. The first one, there are a few biscuits. Second, there is a little bread. So if it is uncountable, do not forget to use is. If it is countable, do not forget to use are. Next one, there are a few ducks. Fourth, there is a little water. Fifth, there are a few children. And the last one is there is a little milk. Now let's move to exercise number 2. So here we have to ask the questions how many or how much. So if it is plural, countable, we use how many. If it is uncountable, then we will use how much. So the first one, how many sweets are there? There are a few sweets. Second, how much juice is there? There is a little juice or only a little. Third, how many strawberries are there? Only a few. You can say only a few or only a little, or you can give full answer. There are a few strawberries. There is no difference in these two sentences. Fourth, how many flowers are there? There are a few flowers or only a few. And next one, how much chocolate is there? Only a little. And the last one, how much jam is there? Only a little. So this is the end of the grammar part. So this is the end of our 27th lesson. Today we have covered with you grammar, reading and some speaking as well. So do not forget to do your homework. Goodbye.